We make our way through sounds alive, through sounds alive. The nights are pulse that drives. We start to thrive, we start to thrive. Beat so heavy it shakes the ground. The dark will guide, the dark will guide. Together lost, we'll chase the night. Our fears collide, our fears collide. In the depths of chaos, we rise as one. Let the rhythm take control.
Born in Stuttgart, he starts off like any other Enlightenment-era kid, reading voraciously, jamming to Aristotle and Rousseau, and quickly realizing theology isn't for him.
Ah, yes. Classic Enlightenment rebellion. Dear Church, I'm breaking free and marrying philosophy instead. Predictable.
But it wasn't just rebellion for rebellion's sake. The Tübingen seminary might have pushed theology hard, but the guy stepped into history while the French Revolution roared in the background.
Right. Cue the Bastille fanfare in the distance. I imagine Hegel toasting liberté, égalité, fraternity every July 14th, while secretly plotting his absolute freedom theories. Subtle.
Exactly, Hera. Here's the twist. That whole chaotic mess of revolution stuck with him. Freedom, individuality, progress. He wasn't just writing about these things. He was living them. During an era so unstable, it'd make modern social media seem calm.
Oh, please. Hegel probably saw freedom then like we see a stable Wi-Fi connection now. Desirable in theory, but good luck achieving it universally.
Fair point. Yet it lit the spark for his philosophy, his self-realization idea. It stems directly from watching the world tear itself apart, then try to build itself better.
And then doing the same thing with ideas, right? His life is his philosophy. Chaos, synthesis, starting over, like an eternal software update where bugs are features, really.
Yeah, but here's the part that sticks. He didn't just see freedom as some innate right. For him, freedom had to be earned. Historically, through struggle, trial, error.
And let me guess, with a philosophical napkin doodle of who wins. Freedom versus reality, round one. The answer's always struggle.
Exactly. It's primal, Hera. He thought freedom only becomes real when people confront and overcome contradiction. It's humanity wrestling with itself.
Oh, the drama. Imagine thinking every step forward requires messy, historical arguments. Sounds productive, but exhausting.
Kind of the point, though. Hegel staked everything on understanding history as a process, not a collection of events. Free will, individuality, systems, they all evolve together, under pressure.
Pressure, you say? So he's essentially humanity's motivational speaker. Within every war exists the possibility of enlightenment. Now hustle.
Oh, please. Not quite that saccharine. But he'd argue every breakdown, every conflict, forces us to grow. That's how he shapes his ideas on absolute freedom and self-realization.
But absolute freedom? Really? That sounds as hypothetical as an internet without trolls. Bold of him to dream so big, though.
It's less a dream and more a roadmap. Hegel believed freedom was a historical achievement. And maybe, just maybe, humanity had the guts to figure it out. So how do we put freedom into motion? Enter Hegel's dialectic, the infamous trio, thesis, antithesis, synthesis. It's the engine, the mechanism driving all that struggle and progress we've been talking about. Sounds simple, right? Trust me, it's anything but.
Ah, yes, the philosophical trinity. Or as I call it, problem, overcorrection, and messy compromise. Sounds like most group projects, to be honest.
Close enough. But for Hegel, it wasn't just a problem-solving gimmick. It was a way to grasp reality itself. Everything unfolds through contradictions, clashing ideas, and eventually some temporary resolution. Rinse, repeat.
Temporary? Great. The universe itself comes with built-in bugs. Fantastic design.
Bugs or features. For Hegel, conflict wasn't a flaw. It was the driving force. He thought contradictions push humanity forward, like it or not.
So what? Every argument on social media is just humanity waddling towards enlightenment? Bold take, Diogenes, bold take.
Hey, sarcasm aside, maybe it is. That toxicity you see? That's today's antithesis. Future synthesis, a more balanced way of not killing each other over emojis.
Wow. Applause for the optimism. So what's speculative again? The bit where he squints at infinity and declares, "Ah, yes, this all makes sense."
Speculative thought, Hera, is the next step. Dialectics spots the contradictions, sure, but speculation digs deeper, unifies the fragments, explains the bigger picture.
So, like putting together IKEA furniture blindfolded. First, notice the missing screws. Dialectics. Then pretend it'll hold anyway. Speculation. I get it.
Something like that. Hegel was rolling his eyes at philosophers who stopped midway. He's telling them, don't just analyze, synthesize. That's what makes it Hegelian.
Big vision, but let's stress test it. Like, apply this dialectic thing to modern chaos. Say, the never-ending circus of social media debates on, I don't know, climate change.
Perfect example. Thesis, progress. Build industries, expand, grow. Antithesis, ecological collapse. Now deal with the fallout.
And synthesis? Hybrid cars will fix everything? Not sure the planet will applaud.
It's more nuanced than that. Synthesis isn't an endpoint, it's a stage. We'll keep iterating between progress and consequence, hoping the next cycle sucks less than the last.
Endless loops. How thrilling. So basically, we're doomed to keep zigzagging through contradictions. But hey, it's character development for humanity, right?
Right. And let's not forget, the process itself is the point. Every clash, every synthesis leaves us closer to, well, whatever freedom actually is.
Freedom. Here we go again. All right. Hegel, you win this round. Humanity. 0. Philosophical circles. 1.
Speaking of freedom, let's talk history, Hera. For Hegel, it wasn't just dusty timelines. It was the battlefield where humanity keeps redefining itself, with freedom as the ultimate trophy we're always chasing.
Ah, yes. The epic tournament of humanity versus itself. On today's episode, Vikings perfected pillaging. Tune in tomorrow for industrial revolutions and existential dread.
Exactly. What he's saying is the process matters more than the outcome. Freedom, individuality, meaning. They evolve through contradictions, through the chaos of history repeating itself.
The chaos bit, I get. But evolving how? By endlessly tripping over the same moral wires and pretending it's progress?
Not exactly. Think of it this way. The contradictions shape us. Hegel argues that every mistake, every hardship, carries lessons that push humanity closer to an absolute understanding of freedom.
And absolute understanding happens somewhere between doom-scrolling Twitter at 3 a.m. and deep-faking celebrities. Sounds like humanity's nailing it.
Well, maybe we're still stuck in a dialectical loop, but the big picture is what counts. He saw history as the stage where freedom wasn't just an abstract dream. It became real. Over centuries.
Centuries. Bold of Hegel to assume we have that long without nuking ourselves over cat meme wars.
Trust me, Hera, it's not about time. It's about recognizing that every crisis challenges humanity to rise above itself repeatedly. Even in today's digital mess, the struggle continues.
Speaking of struggles, let's talk theology. Hegel's absolute spirit, a cocktail of religion, philosophy, and metaphysical jargon. But what does it even mean? God in debug mode?
More like God becoming real through humanity's self-awareness. Hegel saw religion not as blind faith, but as a symbolic reflection of our deepest truths. Philosophy takes it further, makes those truths explicit.
So philosophy swoops in, saying, nice mythos, religion, but let me explain what you really meant. Classic academic energy.
Something like that. Religion offers the imagery. Philosophy connects the dots. That's how he frames the absolute spirit, unifying thought, culture, and belief into a larger story.
Stories. Those we tell ourselves to make the absurd bearable. But I've got to ask, how does this roadmap hold up in a world where attention spans are, what's the word, non-existent?
It holds up better than you'd think. Digital chaos aside, the need for meaning doesn't vanish. Hegel's path of struggle and reconciliation? It's still happening, even when trolls hijack the narrative.
So what? Hegel's just the philosopher we didn't know we needed? A chaotic meta-commentator on humanity's existential homework?
Exactly. He doesn't solve problems for us. He just shows they're part of how we grow. Not neat, not perfect, but necessary.
Necessary, huh? Fine. I'll admit, his whole contradictions drive progress angle. It resonates. But only because humans are contradictions. Rational, emotional, brilliant, and stupid. All in one.
That's the heart of it. Absolute freedom isn't about perfection. It's about embracing the mess, living through it, learning from it, and daring to evolve anyway.
On that note, let's part ways with Hegel then. Him and his chaotic roadmap to meaning. Cheers to the messy, to the unresolved, and to whatever comes next, right?
Right, and that's a wrap. Stay contradictory, humanity. It's the only way forward.
It's a wild embrace. In the heart of the night, we find our place.